problem is, we've all been taught that certain feelings are bad, or they're just plain uncomfortable or inconvenient. I read self-help books, I meditated, tried exercising. The change that I felt in 1 month was more than I'd experienced in years of talk therapy. On paper, you're successful. You've worked hard and done everything that's expected of you, your career, partner, family, house. You're grateful for what you have and you should feel happy, but instead you spend your time feeling numb, exhausted, and constantly on edge. You're always busy. You're working, you're doing things with your family, doing chores, trying to stay fit, and it feels like you're just going through the motions. Every day feels the same, and each year that passes feels the same as the last. Life feels harder than it should be. Even the fun parts don't excite you anymore. You just don't feel like yourself. You feel dead inside. And honestly, you're over it. You're stuck in what I call survival mode. And if it helps, it's actually quite common. In this video, I'll explain how you get stuck there and give you a really quick somatic practice to help you feel like yourself again. If this sounds like you, you're aware enough to know that something's off and you've tried a lot of things to help. Mindset work, read self-help books, practiced gratitude, reflected, journal, and maybe even meditated. You've probably been to therapy, and if you really struggled, you might have tried medication. But I bet you're still feeling quite frustrated because despite all the work you've done, it hasn't substantially changed how you feel or how you react when things get tough. If this is you, drop a like so I don't feel alone in this. Right now you probably feel like you're failing, but give yourself a break. This isn't your fault. Like most high achievers, you probably think that you can fix everything with a bit of brain power and effort. But I'm here to tell you that trying to fix everything in your mind is exactly why you're staying stuck. We've all been taught in mental health that our thoughts and our mind are everything. But most of what you feel and how you react happens in your body. When we don't allow ourselves to feel our emotions, they go unprocessed and they get stuck in your body. Over time, the layers of emotion that you haven't processed build into tension, exhaustion, inflammation, and emotional reactivity. A state where your nervous system's always on, survival mode. Unless you deal with the emotions stuck in your body, anything you do to improve your mental health won't stick because your nervous system's still stuck in on. You'll be constantly managing symptoms or using coping strategies rather than healing. Your mental health won't stay stable because it hasn't got a stable base to build on. It's like trying to build a Jenga tower on top of a slinky. Like, imagine how tricky that would be. Every brick that gets taken out, every little knock, every wobble, and your whole tower comes crashing down. But when you stabilise the base, your nervous system, real change is possible. Everything starts to heal and your mind follows. By now you might be thinking that this is also spot on, that it's scary, and there's a reason for that. This isn't something I've just read in a textbook. It's actually something that I've lived through myself. I've always been a high achiever. I did well in school, I went to university, I met and married my partner, we bought a house. Financially we were stable, we were able to have nights out and take holidays. There was lots of good times and some tough times. Overall, I had nothing to complain about. But despite all that, deep down I really wasn't happy. I was starting to hate work, I was constantly tired, I was so frustrated and snapping at the smallest things. Either that or I was completely shut off and numb. I wasn't enjoying exercise and hobbies like I used to. They felt more like hard work than fun. Holidays were amazing, but I've always felt like I spent the first few days just collapsing and winding down. And as soon as I got back at work, it felt like I never left. And honestly, I felt dead inside. I was super frustrated because I just really couldn't understand why I felt this way. And I tried a lot of things that I thought would help. I read self-help books, I meditated, I tried exercising. I started seeing a good counsellor, and honestly it helped. I'd have times where I felt better, but whenever work got hard or things got tough at home, I'd feel like I was back in the same patterns, feeling the same way. I'd made a lot of progress, but it just always felt like feeling good was hard work. And it just shouldn't feel that hard, right? And then things got a lot worse. I had this stupid little accident at an inflatable water park where I tripped over and fell on my face. And my whole body went numb for like 30 seconds. I freaked out for 30 seconds because I thought this just couldn't be good. But then I was able to wiggle my toes and fingers, so I knew I wasn't paralysed. So I stayed still and super calm while my niece called for help, and my partner and my brother and the water park staff strapped me to a spinal board. It was a whole thing getting me to the ambulance. I had to close half the water park, take off a few slides and float me across the water to get to the ambulance. It was during COVID, so I just got put in an emergency room on my own, strapped to a spinal board in a neck collar. And I didn't have anyone there for support and didn't really know what was going on. So that's when I really started freaking out, worrying about how much my life would change if I ended up in a wheelchair. But once I was given some pain meds and put on the ward, I was super calm again. I convinced myself I was going to be okay because I could feel my hands and feet right, so everything should be fine. Scans showed that in the fall, a disc had bulged out in my neck and into my spinal cord, and I was 1 millimetre away from being a quadriplegic in a wheelchair. And that scared the shit out of me, obviously. But I was told that the disc would shrink back into its place and I wouldn't need surgery, which was a huge relief. The hard neck collar came off. I'd need to wear a soft collar for a few months, but I could start doing things again, and the best part was I could have a shower on my own. I still had to be in hospital for a few days, but I decided to look on the bright side. I had nowhere to be, nothing to do. My partner visited, I listened to music, I laughed to Ron Burgundy podcasts, I went for walks around the ward, and I chatted to the nurses. I still had to be pretty careful, but it felt like life would slowly get back to normal. 2 months later, I visited the surgeon, fully expecting that he'd tell me that I was 100% again. But the disc hadn't repaired as expected. I didn't actually need surgery, but if I didn't have it, I'd have to be really careful with my neck for the rest of my life. And that was pretty disappointing, but again, I just looked at the bright side. Surgery was actually pretty straightforward and would only take a month to recover. So I booked it in, focused on the positives, and was happy that it would be fixed soon. And I was fixed. The surgery went really well. They took the disc out through the front of my neck and replaced it with a titanium cage. A few days in the hospital and another month in the soft collar, and I was going to be as good as new. At the end of the month, we symbolically burnt the collar in a fire because I got my freedom back, and I started to get on with my life. I'd lost a lot of strength, but I slowly started working towards doing all the things that I used to do before I had the accident. But 2 years later, I was completely stuck and feeling worse than ever. Logically, I knew that my neck was fixed. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it, but something was holding me back. Everything I did made me stiff and sore. I worried that I'd put my back out every morning when I bent down to put my socks on. I couldn't swim more than half the laps that I used to. There was this huge knot in my left shoulder that made my neck really tight. Most weeks it gave me a migraine that would wipe me out for a whole day. Of course, I figured it was a physical issue, like I wasn't strong enough. So I was getting physical therapy every week, either massage, chiropractor or osteo. But the relief would only last a couple of days. Nothing shifted that knot in my shoulder. Mentally, I was really struggling. I felt dead inside again. I couldn't do all the things that I loved. I was constantly mentally exhausted, and I just felt really guilty about all the things that I couldn't do around home. Everything was hard. I was hating work and not enjoying life much at home either. I was stuck in survival mode. I was just getting through every day. I talked everything through with my counsellor, and we worked out that I was holding on to a lot of grief and anger about what had happened to me. But even though I logically understood what was going on, I was still constantly frustrated, on the verge of snapping, or just upset with how shit I felt. Then one day I found a podcast about emotional healing. It talked about how emotional pain is stored in our bodies and how the key to healing is in feeling and processing the emotional pain that's stuck in our body. And that really resonated with me. It felt like it could be a missing link in my recovery. So I booked in for a session, and it was honestly life-changing. I talked about my frustrations with work and how I felt really stuck in my recovery. My healer talked me through how what had happened to me in my accident was actually quite traumatic, and how staying really calm and staying positive hadn't actually let me feel and process all of the fear and grief and anger about my accident and my recovery. And all of that unprocessed emotion was now stuck in my body. We felt and released so much anger and grief, but sitting underneath all of that was a really deep layer of shame, not feeling good enough, which was a really deep emotional cause behind the way I'd been feeling. A lot of my anger and frustration came from me reacting to situations where I thought people didn't think I was good enough. We cleared that belief out of my conscious, and then we went back to the first time that I felt that into my subconscious and cleared it from there as well. At the end of the session, I felt so much calmer, felt lighter, like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders, and I had so much energy. I woke up the next morning and for the first time in 6 months, that knot in my shoulder wasn't there, and it hasn't come back either. I jumped in the pool that day, I swam 10 more laps than I'd been able to do for the last 2 years. I felt less frustrated, way more positive, and I had my energy back. I really felt like myself again. Over 2 more sessions, we worked through a lot more emotion limiting beliefs. The change that I felt in 1 month was more than I'd experienced in years of talk therapy. I no longer felt dead inside. I was full of energy and really motivated. And the biggest change is that I no longer get stuck in the same thought patterns. I'm not getting triggered by the same things and acting out the same emotional patterns. I've built real emotional capacity to handle whatever life throws at me. And now that's what I help clients do. If parts of my story are really resonating with you, take my survival mode quiz. It'll help you understand how emotionally stuck you are, and I'll deliver you a personal strategy to help improve your mental health and feel like yourself again. The link's below. My story shows that there's a lot more to good mental health than staying positive and talking through all your problems. So much of my mental and physical health was determined by the emotions that I hadn't let myself process and the beliefs that had formed around them. And this is exactly why so many of us are stuck in survival mode, just going through the motions and feeling dead inside. Mainstream mental health approaches are really focused on your mind, your thoughts, your mindset, and your brain chemistry. When I talk about the mind, I'm referring to our conscious, logical, rational thinking and processing, not the brain as such. Your body and your mind act as one complex unit. Based on external and internal stimuli, your body creates feelings, sensations, and physical reactions. Your thoughts, your mind can also do the reverse and create physical reactions and sensations in your body. The mind does not control everything. It's actually heavily the other way around. It's been estimated that over 90% of your emotions happen subconsciously in your body. Subconscious is actually a behind-the-scenes autopilot that drives most of your thinking and emotions. What you might be starting to realise is that dealing with emotions only in your mind is really using one tiny part of your toolkit. And that's why so many of us struggle to fix our mental health using mainstream approaches. If you've ever paid attention to what happens in your body when you feel something, you'll know that this is true. Like, think of the tension in your shoulders and the clench in your jaw when you're really stressed, or the lump in your throat where you're really sad, or that real jittery, gross feeling in your stomach when you're anxious. Just think of the times where your body's made you have a big, ugly cry when you're really upset, even though you didn't want to feel that way. Our bodies are great at feeling and processing emotion. They're designed to quickly sum up a situation, create a reaction that'll keep you safe, and then process all the emotion and flush it out of your system, if you let it do its job. Problem is, we've all been taught that certain feelings are bad, or they're just plain uncomfortable or inconvenient. We constantly use our mind to suppress emotion that we've been told not to feel or that we don't want to feel. But every time we do that, we don't let our body process the emotion properly. All of the emotion that you ignore or shut down and don't process stays in your body. And over time, the layers of unprocessed emotion keeps your nervous system in fight, flight or freeze, a state where it's constantly on. In this state, it's constantly getting triggered by the same unprocessed emotion, and it's flooding your body with stress hormones constantly, which feeds into the poor mental health and physical symptoms that you've been experiencing. When your nervous system's stuck in survival mode, you'll feel constantly exhausted no matter how much you sleep. You'll be emotionally reactive, anxious, tense and stiff, run down and burn out. You won't enjoy things that you used to love. And dealing with that in your mind alone is really hard work. It's why you feel so dead inside. No matter how much you talk or think about it, There won't be a big change because it's not just about your thoughts and your brain chemistry. It's my playing Jenga on a slinky analogy again. Your mental health won't stay stable when it's built on an unstable base. Every little knock or wobble, it's going to come crashing down. And with your body stuck in this state, your only options to manage symptoms or put in place coping strategies to reduce their severity. And this is what mainstream mental health approaches focus on. But when you take your nervous system out of that constant on state, your body's able to start healing itself and your mind follows. I'm going to give you 2 simple ways to start turning this around by building your capacity to handle and process emotion. One's a technique you can use to better feel and process emotion as it's coming up. The second's a process to get in touch with and process some of the emotion that's been keeping you stuck in survival mode. Okay, so firstly I'll tell you how to let your body do what it's meant to do and process emotion. Firstly, when you notice an emotion, just let it happen. Don't suppress it. Just breathe and focus on the physical sensations in your body. Don't try to change them. Don't try to shut them down. Let them build if they need to. If you're angry, notice the heat that builds up, the raising in your shoulders, the clench in your jaw. If you're sad, notice the lump in your throat and just let the tears happen. If you let the emotion happen, your body will quickly process it and all the physical reactions and sensations will reduce. You'll feel better. Your body isn't holding on to it anymore. And you'll notice as well that it isn't as strong in your mind and it's easier to let go. Get that you won't always feel safe to do this in the moment, but if a big emotion comes up in your day, always try to come back to it later on. For example, if work's got you really frustrated and angry, when you get home, let yourself feel some of it. Don't just vent. Get angry, feel it, and let it go. It works the same for all emotions. Now, I'm not saying to take your emotions out on anyone else here. All your emotions are valid and needed, but how you express them isn't always valid or needed. So make it super healthy and feel your emotions in a way that aren't hurting anyone else. I know you get my drift. Second practice is a small part of how I help people fix their mental health by releasing some of the layers of buried emotion that they've been carrying around. I'll guide you through a short somatic process that will help you identify and shift some of the emotion that's keeping you stuck. Part of the Heal to Last process. Please do this somewhere where you won't get interrupted and you feel safe to get emotional. Through all of this short practice, I want you to focus on your breathing. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And I want you to just connect with your body, okay? So I find that putting my hand on my heart helps. Dropping your head also helps get you out of your head and connecting more with your body. And I just want you to try to let go of everything that's happening in the day. Try to stop the thoughts that are in your head. Forget about them. I just want you to get really curious about what's happening in your body, okay? I want you to look for any sensations or feelings in your body. We're really trying to find uncomfortable sensations, okay? Not good ones. Trying to find the pain that's stored in your body. Just want you to look for any sensations, any temperature, any heat or coolness. Could be tingling sensations. Could be tension. Could be actual pain. We're not chasing something here, okay? I don't want you to go looking for anything in particular. Just want you to be curious about what's there. Take as long as you need to find a sensation, okay? I've got some tightness in my shoulders, a little bit of tension in my diaphragm, Once you've found a sensation, just want you to sit in that. Just be curious about what's going on, okay? Just keep breathing into it. Don't shut it down. Just let it be what it needs to be. Just want you to try to find an emotion that's touched that sensation, okay? So whatever comes to you, okay? Whatever's strongest. Again, I don't want you to chase anything in particular. It doesn't have to be a certain thing. But with every strong sensation in your body, there will be an emotion, okay? Just whatever comes into your head first. Can't find one straight away, that's okay. Just take your time, don't put pressure on yourself, okay? Just keep connecting in with your body. Eventually an emotion will come to you. Once you've found an emotion, I want you to actually say that out loud, okay? Might be, I'm sad, I'm angry, I don't feel good enough, okay? Whatever it is, I just want you to say it out loud. I want you to say it with some feeling, okay? Using this to help build the emotion. It's helping to trigger a reaction in your body, it's helping to trigger a reaction in your mind to that emotion, okay? I am sad. I'm angry. I'm not good enough. Okay, whatever you feel, just want you to keep repeating that for a bit. You should notice as you do that the sensation in your body builds a bit more, okay? Now I just want you to give that sensation in your body a score out of 10, okay? Where 10's the highest, 10's the most. Hopefully it's around a 7 or an 8. And if it is, that's a good start. If it's lower, that's okay. Just keep breathing, just keep focusing on that sensation. Just keep saying the emotion out loud, okay? What we want to do now is build it up. If it's tension, we want to make things even tighter. If you've got a hot sensation or a cold sensation, we want to make it colder. We want to make it warmer, okay? Want to get this sensation as strong as you possibly can in your body, okay? Whatever it is, just want you to build it up, okay? Keep breathing, you're doing really well. Keep saying it out loud. If it's painful, that's okay. It'll be uncomfortable, but I want you to stay in it, okay? And I just want you to build that, okay? We're aiming for a 10 here. We want to get it as high as possible, strong as possible, okay? Doing great. Just keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep saying the emotion out loud. And just keep building it, okay? Want it to get as strong as possible. Want it to get as uncomfortable as possible, okay? Don't back off from it. It's just emotion. Nothing's happening to you, okay? It's just a reaction. I want you to build it as strong as you can, okay? You're doing great. Just keep breathing. Stay in that emotion, okay? You might notice that where you feel the sensation in your body shifts around, okay? Might move from your stomach to your chest. Might move through to your throat. Might move into your head, okay? It's all normal. That's just the emotional energy processing and moving out of your system, moving through your body. Okay, just want you to reflect inwards again. See how strong it is out of 10. Hopefully getting up closer to 10 now. Get it as high as you can, okay? If any tears come, just let them come. If you need to yell or scream or shake, just let it happen, okay? Don't hold anything back. It's safe to feel what you need to feel here, okay? Once it's at a 10, if you can, push it higher, okay? Make it more tense, make it more hot, make it more painful. Okay. Hopefully it's moving through your body. Hopefully it's getting up into your throat, getting up into your head now. Wherever it is, just let it be, okay? And just let it build. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just hold that emotion for as long as you can, okay? Might be really uncomfortable. And you'll notice eventually that the sensation starts to back off on its own. It starts to subside a little, okay? It'll start dropping down from a 10, being really uncomfortable, to maybe an 8 or a 7. This is the emotion processing out. Your body's doing its thing, okay? So I just want you to keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep saying the emotion out loud. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm not good enough, whatever it is. I just want you to keep breathing and keep feeling that sensation until it gets down to where it feels like it's about a 5 or a 6, okay? I don't want you to rush to shut it off. I just want you to keep feeling it until it processes right out of your system. If you're still at a really heightened emotion, like you're still up around a 10 or a 9, I just want you to pause on the video. And I just want you to keep feeling it, okay? I want you to feel it for as long as you need to. There's no rush with this, just take your time. Keep building the emotion until it releases off on its own. If you're still feeling the emotion really strongly right now, I just want you to pause, and I want you to keep feeling the emotion, keep processing it until it backs off on its own. And just jump back into the video when you're ready. Now to finish off, I want you to just breathe for a minute and do a little check-in on how you feel. Do you feel calmer, lighter? Is there less tension in your shoulders as your jaw unclenched? Whatever you notice has changed, that's a sign that your body's let go of some emotion that it was holding on to. If the change feels good to you, I want you to know that what I do in this session is this on steroids. If you can't find a feeling, that's okay too. Doesn't mean this won't work for you. This isn't something that we practice every day, so you might just need a little bit of help to tune into what your body's trying to tell you. I truly believe that you can fix your mental health. Despite how you feel, you aren't broken. The way you're taught to manage your emotions is. If you feel and process all the layers of emotion and belief that are stuck in your body, what's causing your poor mental health can be resolved. Not masked, not managed, actually fixed. I've built this belief based on my own experience and the life-changing results I've seen from my clients who've tried everything and found lasting change with the Heal to Last process. They leave sessions feeling calm, brain fog gone, able to handle life as it comes, and with the energy to truly enjoy the things that they love. And it sticks. I'm not saying you'll never feel sad, angry, or not good enough again. Life isn't perfect, and you're actually human. But you won't be stuck in the same emotion with the same stories feeding it and making it worse. And over time, you'll build capacity to deal with it all so much easier. I know that you're tired of trying so hard and feeling like you're getting nowhere. So listen to your body, your intuition. It's telling you that what I've been talking about is the missing link in improving your mental health. It's time to do mental health differently. Make it easier to feel like yourself and enjoy life. Stop surviving and start thriving. I can help you get there. Make sure you subscribe. Every episode I'll go deeper into the ways in which we get stuck and how to get out. And before you go, download my Survival Mode quiz. It'll help you to understand exactly how emotionally stuck you are and deliver a personal strategy to help improve your mental health and start feeling like yourself again. See you on the next episode of Heal to Last.